Illinois Real Estate Exam 2026. Question 1. Cameron and Drew both claim the same earnest money after a failed Illinois purchase contract. How should the broker view disbursement? Option A. The broker should follow the contract, written instructions, or lawful dispute minus resolution process before releasing funds. Option B. The broker may give the money to the latter party. Option C. The broker must always keep the money as commission. Option D. The buyer automatically receives the money regardless of contract terms. The correct answer is option A. The broker should follow the contract, written instructions, or lawful dispute minus resolution process before releasing funds. Earnest money disputes require careful handling under the contract and applicable escrow rules. A broker cannot choose based on pressure, convert the money into commission without entitlement, or ignore the party's contract rights. Question 2. A licensee knowingly misrepresents a material fact to induce a buyer to sign. Which licensing consequence is most relevant during Jordan's Elgin vacant lot file review? Option A. Automatic zoning approval. Option B. Disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Option C. A mandatory title insurance payout. Option D. A tax prioration credit only. The correct answer is option B. Disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Knowing misrepresentation can trigger discipline because it harms consumers and violates professional standards. Zoning approval, title insurance payout, and tax prioration are unrelated remedies for this licensing misconduct. Question 3. A rental property has NOI of $35,000 and a value estimate of $490,000. Approximately what capitalization rate is indicated during Casey's normal rental duplex file review? Option A. 3.6%. Option B. 10.1%. Option C. 7.1%. Option D. 14%. The correct answer is option C. 7.1%. The capitalization rate is NOI divided by value, so $35,000 divided by $490,000 is about 7.1%. The other answers have the rate, add unsupported points, or invert the formula. Stressed about your Illinois real estate exam? We can take Illinois real estate exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. An unlicensed assistant named Alex is asked to explain offer terms to a buyer at an open house. Why is that risky? Option A. Unlicensed assistants may perform every brokerage task if unpaid. Option B. Only title companies need real estate licenses. Option C. Licensed supervision converts negotiation into clerical work. Option D. Explaining or negotiating transaction terms can cross into licensed activity. The correct answer is option D. Explaining or negotiating transaction terms can cross into licensed activity. Unlicensed assistants may perform clerical or administrative tasks, but explaining terms, negotiating, or advising consumers may require a license. Being unpaid, supervised, or involved with a title company does not transform licensed brokerage functions into purely clerical work. Question 5. A commercial tenant pays base rent plus a share of property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Which lease type is most likely being described during Taylor's Galesburg Suburban Ranch home file review? Option A. Net lease. Option B. Gross lease. Option C. Ground lease only. Option D. Life estate. The correct answer is option A. Net lease. A net lease shifts some or all operating expenses to the tenant in addition to base rent. A gross lease usually places expenses primarily on the landlord. A ground lease concerns land rental, and a life estate is an ownership interest rather than a lease minus payment structure. Question 6. A buyer obtains a loan of $247,500 on a property appraised at $330,000. Approximately what is the loan minus to minus value ratio during Riley's Moline Commercial Suite file review? Option A. 25%. Option B. 75%. Option C. 85%. Option D. 60%. The correct answer is option B, 75%. Loan minus to minus value is calculated by dividing the loan amount by the appraised value, $247,500 divided by $330,000, or about 75%. The other percentages confuse equity with LTV or use an incorrect numerator or denominator. Question 7. Taylor signs an exclusive brokerage agreement and expects the broker to present offers and assist with negotiations. Which Illinois topic does this resemble? Option A. A deed restriction created by neighbors. Option B. A mortgage acceleration clause. Option C. A minimum services and duties under brokerage agreements. Option D. A tax appeal before the assessor. The correct answer is option C. Minimum services and duties under brokerage agreements. Illinois state minus specific outlines test brokerage agreements, exclusive agreements, and minimum services. Deed restrictions, mortgage acceleration, and tax appeals involve different legal concepts rather than brokerage minus service duties. Question 8. A settlement service provider offers a broker a hidden referral fee for steering buyers to that provider. Which federal concern is most likely during Cameron's Waukegan single-family home file review? Option A. Fixture classification. Option B. Adverse possession. Option C. The rectangular survey system. Option D. RESPA restrictions on kickbacks and unearned fees. The correct answer is option D. RESPA restrictions on kickbacks and unearned fees. RESPA addresses prohibited kickbacks and unearned fees involving settlement services. Fixtures, adverse possession, and land survey systems are unrelated to hidden settlement minus service referral payments. Are you looking for Illinois real estate exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access Illinois real estate exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get Illinois real estate exam answer key today. Question 9. A borrower pays 4 discount points on a $195,000 loan. How much do the points cost? Option A, $7,800. Option B, $3,900. Option C, $1,950. Option D, $8,800. The correct answer is option A, $7,800. 1 discount point equals 1% of the loan amount, so 4 points cost 4% of $195,000, or $7,800. The other figures use too few points, only 1 point, or add an unsupported amount. Question 10. A managing broker supervising Drew discovers repeated advertising and trust minus account mistakes. Which responsibility is most directly involved? Option A, recording deeds for every buyer. Option B, supervision of sponsored licensees and brokerage compliance systems. Option C, issuing building permits. Option D, approving zoning variances. The correct answer is option B, supervision of sponsored licensees and brokerage compliance systems. Managing and sponsoring brokers are responsible for supervision, training, and compliance controls for sponsored licensees. Recording deeds, issuing permits, and approving zoning variances are handled by other parties or government offices. Question 11. A buyer includes a financing contingency in a purchase agreement. What is the main purpose of that clause? Option A. It automatically gives the broker ownership of the property. Option B. It removes the need for mutual assent. Option C. It gives the party a contractual condition that must be satisfied or waived under the agreement. Option D. It makes all deadlines meaningless. The correct answer is option C. It gives the party a contractual condition that must be satisfied or waived under the agreement. A contingency creates a condition that can affect whether the parties must proceed or may terminate under stated terms. It does not transfer ownership to the broker, replace mutual assent, or eliminate all contractual deadlines. Question 12. Annual property taxes are $3,480, and the seller owes the buyer a credit for 89 days using a 365-day year. Approximately how large is the credit during Reese's Peoria small apartment building file review? Option A, $290. Option B, $10. Option C, $1,697. Option D, $849. The correct answer is option D, $849. Daily proration divides $3,480 by 365 and multiplies by 89 days, giving about $849. The other choices use 1 month, 1 day only, or double the required prorated period. Question 13. A brokerage wants to operate a virtual office location for Illinois consumers. Which compliance focus best fits the licensing outlined during Alex's Naperville mixed-use storefront file review? Option A, registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Option B, avoiding all broker supervision because the office is online. Option C, replacing written brokerage agreements with website clicks only. Option D, advertising as an unlicensed technology company. The correct answer is option A, registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Virtual or branch operations still require appropriate brokerage supervision and compliance with licensing rules. Being online does not remove supervision, written-agreement, licensing, or advertising requirements. Question 14. A contract identifies land using a rectangular government survey description. Why are legal descriptions tested separately from street addresses during Blair's Rockford vacant lot file review? Option A, street addresses are always more legally precise. Option B, a legal description is intended to identify the parcel with greater legal precision than a mailing address. Option C, legal descriptions are used only for personal property. Option D, a legal description replaces the need for a seller's signature. The correct answer is option B. A legal description is intended to identify the parcel with greater legal precision than a mailing address. Legal descriptions identify the land for conveyance and title purposes, while street addresses are often practical but less precise. They apply to real property, not personal property, and they do not replace signature and contract requirements. Question 15. A listing closes at $460,000 with a brokerage fee of 5.5%. What total commission is generated before any split? Option A, $12,650. Option B, $29,900. Option C, $25,300. Option D, $4,600. The correct answer is option C, $25,300. Commission is calculated by multiplying the sale price by the commission rate. $460,000 times 5.5% equals $25,300. The distractors divide the commission, use the wrong percentage, or calculate only 1% of the price. Question 16. A licensee knowingly misrepresents a material fact to induce a buyer to sign. Which licensing consequence is most relevant during Sydney's Champagne Lakefront Cottage file review? Option A, automatic zoning approval. Option B, mandatory title insurance payout. Option C, a tax proration credit only. Option D, disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. The correct answer is option D, disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Knowing misrepresentation can trigger discipline because it harms consumers and violates professional standards. Zoning approval, title insurance payout, and tax proration are unrelated remedies for this licensing misconduct. Question 17. A tenant with a disability requests a reasonable accommodation to use the rental property. How should the property manager analyze the request during Logan's Joliet Suburban Ranch home file review? Option A, evaluate whether the request is reasonable and necessary for equal use and enjoyment of the housing. Option B, deny every accommodation to keep rules identical. Option C, approve only accommodations requested by owners. Option D, treat the request as an automatic eviction notice. The correct answer is option A. Evaluate whether the request is reasonable and necessary for equal use and enjoyment of the housing. Fair housing analysis considers whether an accommodation is reasonable and related to the tenant's disability-related needs. blanket denial, owner minus only approval standards, or treating the request as eviction would conflict with the purpose of accommodation rules. Question 18. A candidate is planning the broker exam schedule and wants to understand the Illinois minus specific portion. How is the state portion commonly structured in the current SCI bulletin during Kendall's Aurora Commercial Suite file review? Option A, 100 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 70% passing score. Option B, 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. Option C, 50 questions with 120 minutes allowed and a 74% passing score. Option D, 90 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The correct answer is option B, 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The Illinois broker exam has a separate state portion listed as 40 scored points, 90 minutes, and a 75% passing score. The 100 minus question 150 minus minute format describes the national broker portion. The 50 minus question 120 minus minute option reflects residential leasing, and the 90 minus question format applies to a different examination category. Stressed about your Illinois real estate exam? We can take Illinois real estate exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. Alex is comparing loan terms and closing disclosures. Which federal lending framework is commonly tested with residential mortgage transactions? Option A, the Statute of Descent and Distribution. Option B, the Rule Against Perpetuities Only. Option C, TRID and related TILA-RESPA disclosure rules. Option D, a zoning variance issued by the City Council. The correct answer is option C, TRID and related TILA-RESPA disclosure rules. Residential mortgage questions often test TILA, RESPA, and integrated TRID disclosures that help borrowers compare costs and terms. The other choices deal with inheritance, property minus law doctrines, or land minus use approvals rather than consumer mortgage disclosure. Question 20. Rowan passed the Illinois broker examination but delayed the license application for more than a year. What is the likely exam minus related consequence? Option A, the score remains valid permanently. Option B, the candidate becomes licensed automatically. Option C, only a name minus change form is required. Option D, the passing examination result may no longer be usable for licensure. The correct answer is option D, the passing examination result may no longer be usable for licensure. The SCI bulletin states that candidates must apply for licensure within 1 year after passing the appropriate examination. A permanent score, automatic licensure, or a simple name minus change form would not satisfy the application requirement after the score validity window has passed. Question 21. A property manager named Logan collects rents, screens tenants, arranges maintenance, and accounts for owner funds. Which duty is most central? Option A, managing the property in the owner's interest while properly accounting for funds and records. Option B, guaranteeing that every tenant will renew. Option C, commingling all rents with personal funds. Option D, ignoring fair housing laws during screening. The correct answer is option A, managing the property in the owner's interest while properly accounting for funds and records. Property managers owe duties tied to the management agreement, owner instructions, legal compliance, and accurate accounting. They cannot guarantee renewals, commingle funds, or ignore fair housing requirements while screening tenants. Question 22. An owner personally advertises and negotiates the sale of the owner's own condominium unit. Why is this usually treated differently from brokerage for others? Option A, every owner must hold a broker license before signing a deed. Option B, owners may generally sell or lease their own property without acting as licensed brokers for the public. Option C, the owner is automatically sponsored by the buyer's broker. Option D, the owner may collect commissions from other sellers without a license. The correct answer is option B. Owners may generally sell or lease their own property without acting as licensed brokers for the public. Real estate license laws typically regulate brokerage services performed for others, especially for compensation. An owner selling the owner's own property is not thereby representing the public as a broker, while licensing would be required to collect commissions or broker transactions for other owners. Question 23. A broker representing Jordan receives confidential negotiating information. Which duty is most directly triggered? Option A. Revealing all confidential strategy to the opposing party. Option B. Changing the purchase price without permission. Option C. Protecting confidential information unless disclosure is authorized or legally required. Option D. Ignoring lawful client instructions. The correct answer is option C. Protecting confidential information unless disclosure is authorized or legally required. Agency and brokerage duties include protecting confidential information while also making required disclosures. Revealing strategy, changing terms without authority, or ignoring lawful instructions would violate core client-service duties. Question 24. Kendall posts a social media ad for a listing near Decatur using only a personal phone number and no brokerage identification. Which issue is most likely raised by Illinois advertising rules during Morgan's Carbondale small apartment building file review? Option A. A licensee may advertise without any broker identification online. Option B. Only print advertising must identify a broker. Option C. Brokerage identification is unnecessary if the property address appears. Option D. Real estate advertising must identify the sponsoring brokerage in a compliant and not misleading way. The correct answer is option D. Real estate advertising must identify the sponsoring brokerage in a compliant and not misleading way. Illinois advertising expectations focus on protecting the public from misleading ads and making the sponsoring brokerage clear. Online ads are still advertising, and the property address or a personal phone number does not replace proper broker identification. Question 25. A study question asks whether an interest is leasehold estate. What is the candidate being tested on during Taylor's Galesburg mixed-use storefront file review? Option A. The nature and duration of rights held in real property. Option B. The amount of commission owed to the broker. Option C. The mortgage interest rate. Option D. The required size of a residential disclosure form. The correct answer is option A. The nature and duration of rights held in real property. Estates and land describe the nature and duration of property rights. Commission, loan interest rates, and disclosure minus form size are separate topics and do not define the estate itself.